Welcome to The View from the Top. I'm Allan.
And I'm Pam.
And I think we've got a good program for you today. And Pam, what are we going to be talking about for next hour, Lord willing?
Well, we were talking last week about spiritual warfare and where God says, do not be overcome by evil. You look at the news, it's overwhelming, it's paralyzing, but overcome evil with good.
And I think we're going to give you some tips because every one of us should be, as Christians anyway, should be soldiers in the army of the Lord.
Amen.
I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I got my war clothes on in the army of the Lord. In the army, got my war clothes on in the army of the Lord. Got my war clothes on in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. Oh, I believe I'll die in the army of the Lord. In the army, I believe I'll die in the army of the Lord. I believe I will die in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I got my breastplate on in the army of the Lord. Got my breastplate on in the army. I got my breastplate on in the army of the Lord. In the army, I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm gonna fight until I die in the army of the Lord. In the army, I'm gonna fight until I die in the army of the Lord. Gonna fight until I die in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. I'm a soldier in the army.
I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. And that's a good tune from a CD, a soundtrack of the movie The Apostle with Robert Duvall especially. He was great. Do you know, Pam, that Robert Duvall studied Pentecostalism at that time before he did the...
Didn't know that, but it's almost as, when Jesus said, the eyes reveal, you can... what does he say about the eyes? Are the window to the soul?
Yes.
And there's something, any movie he was in, no matter how tough a guy he played, he had heart. There was something, so, I just thought, I know somewhere he knows God, and yeah.
I believe that because I read
do
it.
too.
I read an article that somebody interviewed him after doing the movie, And that's why I know he studied Pentecostalism. He went to Pentecostal churches. It's like an actor who really gets into the role.
Amen. Yeah, yeah. Well, in my opinion, this is the greatest actors and actors have to have some aspect, part of the character they play in order to portray it that well. You've grasped on that somewhere in your life. In other words, the more it's like Jesus said, you're going to go through that fiery trial, but I'm going to refine you. The refiner's fire. Same thing with a great actor. He has suffered. Comedians are some people who've cried a lot. Through that right. You talk because you lead. I'll follow.
Okay.
You. Okay.
That
Thank
sounds
you.
good. That sounds good. All right. We just played the song. I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. And Pamela Sue, a lot of Christians today don't even know there is a war going on.
Amen. That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
They don't know. And there are many preachers who don't want to talk about it because
people will leave the church. It will offend.
It will offend them.
Yes.
And I'm not knocking Joel Osteen at all, okay? But it's the subject of his book. One of the titles of his bestsellers was Your Best Life Now, which...
Nowhere in the Word.
No.
Not at all. If you lose your life, you'll find it.
That's right, because I was at the Bible Society videotaping a session on Tuesday at Chicago Temple in downtown Chicago, and the subject was about the crucifixion. And how many modern-day preachers on television now preach the cross, except Brother Jimmy Swaggart. And he preaches the cross.
Yes. Yeah. Well, right. But he's walked through it, too. And the cross, the sickness is my cross, my husband's my cross, that child's
right.
It's not that. It means dying to flesh, self. I think a lot of times he came to save me from me. Yeah, the devil gets too much credit. And it's that war. And I got to be a soldier. And a soldier is get up, stand up, gird your loins up. I've won the victory is ours, but the battle belongs to the Lord. And
well, I think I can bring some aspect to it from a personal experience. As you know, I wasn't in Vietnam, but I was in during the Vietnam War time. And like most people from Chicago, we were sent to Camp Swampy, which was Fort Polk, Louisiana. All right, or Louisiana.
Like Polk salad, Annie. Polk, the polk salad. Okay,
right.
All right.
And I tell you, I was living, and I'm not off topic this time. I was living in a condo overlooking Lake Michigan, 2 views of the lake. I had just bought.
A view from the top.
I don't
know who owns the building, but I got a view.
I had a view from the top, the 9th floor. Yes, I did.
Amen.
And,
I hear you.
And I had bought in today's money, $1,000 worth of new clothes.
There you go. Yeah,
and then the draft notice comes. I never wore them very much.
I bet you put them in storage. So you didn't give them to the poor, did
mother.
you? There you go.
Yeah,
Hold on to my stuff. Yeah,
right.
I got you. Yeah.
But it's a shock. And see, this has to do with Christianity. If people really knew what it's all about, the first thing they do, I was having haircuts, $35 every 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And guess what happens to that when you go in the Army? It all gets whoever got a haircut.
If you won't humble, they'll shave your head. I know it.
A haircut at 4 a.m, it's obscene. I mean,
it's a blindness, isn't it? Because in my heart, I've called it's like a lullaby going on. Just what's the problem? I mean, we can all be. There's no right, wrong. It's a gray area. Whatever is your truth is my truth. It's all subjective. And we're not going and pounding everyone. We, in fact, as Christians, we will be tolerant of your beliefs, but it has come to the place, frog in the beaker, whatever, where God is trying to wake us up and understand that our eyes have to be open because I'm talking about Christians. We really believe, but we've just been lulled into, well, I guess it's everybody's doing that now, and the kids are, let's throw a shower for the unwed gal that I'm not, there's everything, there's a way, it's Jesus. There's a path, it's life.
Right.
It's the way,
the truth,
and the life.
and there's a price to be paid. Just what to sum up the whole, what do you call? To sum up, the 8 weeks of basic training has one purpose, and that is to put a military mindset in civilians. All right, because many of them were going to fight the Viet Cong.
Yeah,
and
no
North
idea
Viet-
what you're right. Amen.
And,
I hear you.
And do you get in fighting shape by being soft? I mean, that's another thing. I was skinny at the time, but my mother was shocked. I lost 15 pounds. I looked like a skeleton. But how did this
You were wiry like Barney.
Yeah,
right?
really.
We're wiry.
Right.
Yeah.
And how did this happen? Because I had to scale monkey bars. I had to crawl through the mud. I had to have live tracer rounds crawling on the ground while they're shooting. I mean, if I stood up, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. It's real deal.
Yeah.
And they show the seriousness of warfare. It certainly isn't like
I couldn't even in gym class was my biggest. I have straight A kids. Back then it was E for excellent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And G
right.
for good. But no. But gym class was I would cry all the way through grammar school into high school. It's like when that part, I wasn't. That was the physical part. I was happy to entertain my brain and feed my mind and do that, but that physical thing was too hard.
Yeah.
I was a little chubby. Not
No, you weren't
usually,
fat.
but I say, don't let's not go there because we're going to go and see the doctor. And she's 10 pounds overweight, and it'd be like, I don't want to see her. But anyway, yeah, it's always
But
your flesh,
right?
and your
What did the Apostle Paul say about it? He said, "Endure hardness."
is a good soldier.
See,
Or a whack, as they call me.
Yeah.
I'm a whack. Yeah, right.
No, you're not a whack job.
Okay, I'm a whack in the Navy. Okay, go ahead, y'all.
You know something?
Yeah.
I mean, even before I went to Korea, which wasn't all that bad, I had cushy assignments. I was sent.
I was going to say, no wonder you got into broadcasting.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this in real life.
That's how I felt. I was a rebel at heart.
Well, no, it was your
But
calling.
but in the Army, I thought to myself, why should I salute this lieutenant? He's no better than me. In fact,
they never did tame Allan's tongue, but thank the Lord, because he gave it to the Lord.
Yeah,
Amen.
well, I never said that, but I resented saluting people and all that. But I learned, the hard way. But God was good to me because the first school, I went to JAG school, which is like for lawyers. I'm not a lawyer, but I learned the military law. And that was at Fort Benjamin Harrison, Indiana. You know what they called Fort Ben? Uncle Ben's rest home. It was a cushy post. It was, we had nice rooms and all that.
Yeah.
And then after I graduated from JAG school, what is my first assignment in the Army of, It was the WAC training base at Fort McClellan.
All right, girls, right?
It was all full of women. I mean, and so because it was for women, it was cushy. Let's put it. Everything was soft and easy. Because the Army Corps, women were not to be in combat at that time. They were to be office workers. They didn't train them with weapons.
Which, we were not going to go there. But I think that's the way it's supposed to be. I don't think women ought to be in combat.
I don't either.
And I think, well, hey, baby, you've come a long, long way, and you're kind of headed straight to destruction.
Okay,
you remember
exactly.
Yes. I was drawn into that in college, and I didn't even know it was like women in literature, and it was all. The next thing I know, I'm at a NOW meeting, which I know what NOW was. I went to one meeting, but the women's lib thing, and I get about equal, but we're different, and it's the